Ladies, is your vanity blinding you to the point that you are totally disregarding your health and spirituality? I know the first thing that many of you will say to yourselves is no. But is that the actual truth? Let me put it to you in the shocking truth terms, and we'll go into those next on this edition of the Sound Doctrine Ministries Spiritual Common Sense. Blessings to the remnant of the saints of the Most High. This is to all my sisters, those in the body of believers, and those that just want to know the truth. Let me ask you a question. Would you take the underwear from a total stranger that she had just taken off after they had worn them for, let's just say, for a week? Oh, that sounds gross as hell, right? But you look at human hair as not something to be just as grossed out about. And many seem to think that it is made of plastics or some other material. It's human hair. What lie will the supplier have to tell you that you will accept for you to keep buying their product? It's been tested? That they have washed and cleaned it? Seriously? What tests did they perform? How well will you trust the labs or the people performing these tests in other countries that are doing this so-called testing? The fact is, they are willing to tell you whatever it takes for you to keep purchasing their product. And if you would think about it, it really makes no difference if the person that the hair came from is alive or dead. It is their DNA. It was from all that they are, their genetic makeup, and they grew this hair out of their own body. I tell you, it is in no way dead, just as the salad that was taken from the vines that you ate was not totally dead. The chicken or beef that you ate from the killed animals was not totally dead, but it is dying. So whether it is from their head or from their vagina, it is the exact same thing. Them and all that they are and all their bodily fluids. Has it ever crossed your mind about the living conditions of these hair donors in other countries? Please, my sisters, think about this. If anyone goes from the U.S. to another country, they must have all types of vaccinations for their protection. They do this because of the region that is different from ours has things that these people live with every day that their bodies have built up an immunity to for the fact that they are from this region and their families are from there. But you are from another region totally, and many of the same things that they eat, walk in, and inhale every day will at the very least make you sick and at the worst kill you. Ever drink the water from Mexico? But these things does absolutely nothing to them. And this goes for the beautiful tropical islands that we love to visit. And you purchase this hair from other women that they have grown out of their bodies, and you attach it to your head. Seriously? Your head, where your pores open directly to your brain through your skull. The place where you sweat with this hair on your head, you are now mixing some strange woman's DNA with yours through your sweat directly to your brain? My sisters, there isn't that much safety in the world. You have no clue who this woman was, what she has done, or who she may have done it with. And do not fool yourselves. Many a person can have the AIDS virus that is lying around dormant without detection for years. And we know that this is true here. What about in Jamaica or Africa, where a many unknown virus has originated? And many of you think that you don't have time to take care of your hair, so you believe you have to get a weave. But when you start coming up with ailments and illness in your body that you have no idea where they came from, that will have you not being able to work at the doctor, at home, you'll see you had more time than you thought. Come on, I've heard and seen so many of you practically scratching your brains out. Just what do you think that itching is all about? I read this article in the New York Daily News about Irene Managa of Kenya that said flesh-eating maggots in her hair weave was causing her crippling headaches. She believed the hairpiece she brought at a Nairobi salon came from a dead body that the maggots hatched from eggs laid on it. I can't say proof positive that she is right about the maggots hatched from the eggs from a dead body, but what I can say is flesh-eating maggots in your head is not normal and should in no way be acceptable. So, looking at it from that viewpoint, what attracted the maggots? Well, this is what attracts maggots and creates them. Adult blowflies lay eggs on or near rotting vegetation, manure, or animals. Oh, hair fell into that last category, huh? Eggs hatch very quickly, and maggots begin to consume the decaying foods. They can emerge as adults within a few days, depending on the temperature. Total developmental time from egg to adult can happen as quickly as a week, given good conditions. So it is the dying hair that attracted the flies, that laid the eggs, that created the maggots, that can happen at night while you are sleeping in your home. But do you think that the hair that the salon worker put into this woman's head, that it came from a mysterious place out back? That the salon worker did not choose the hair when she paid for it? That the woman who purchased it did not agree to this hair for its shine and luster? And that they both thought it was cleaned and washed, or the worker would not have touched it, and the customer would not have paid for it to be put in her head if it did not look good. Plus, with all that it takes to put a weave in, it's hard to see how the eggs survived the installation at all. So there's a good chance that this did not even have anything to do with the corpse, but the dying hair itself. This is just one incident that was reported that made international news. Just imagine how many were not reported, blamed on incompetence, or many other reasons as not to ruin the salon's reputation. Remember when they started out with horsehair weaves that was infected with different bacteria? And speaking of bacteria, do you have any idea of how many types that can be in human hair and transferred? Not many will even consider that they are killing themselves, for they would rather be good looking than to ever stop getting a weave. But that hair does not look good. It's sitting on top of your head. It makes you look like you're bald, that you're a sick cancer patient that had to have this fake hair put on your head. And your funds take a beating with every weave you get, and your spouse cannot touch or run his fingers through your hair. That last one is a deal breaker with most men like myself, for we know how extra stimulating it is when a man runs his fingers through a woman's hair when they are making love. And so many of our sisters, you look at these celebrities that spend $20,000 and up for their weaves from the best of the best, and convince yourselves that yours looks just as good. And sister girl, your so-called friend, will lie through her teeth to you about how you look, wanting you to look beneath her anyway. You don't really believe she wants you to look better than her, do you? Have you ever noticed that men do not go around asking other men to go clothes shopping with them? Many of you insist on going shopping with your man because you want to choose what he wears, but to him, if he looks good to him, it's a done deal. Nevertheless, this is the natural standpoint. But to my sisters, those in the body of believers, have you completely forgotten about transference of spirits? How spirits can be transferred by the laying on of hands and through music and etc.? And if evil spirits can be transferred by just the laying on of hands, how much more can they be transferred by putting someone else's hair on your head? Who are these donors? Are they following Allah, Buddha? Do they believe at all and are Satanists? And here is something I'm sure you haven't thought of. What if they know exactly what they are doing and are casting spells and spirits onto these weaves to cause you harm? Now, I know the women of the world cast this off, for they don't believe in spirits. But those who are in the body of believers, who know that God is a spirit and believe in the Holy Spirit and demons, should understand that these things are real. Most of the human hair weaves come from countries like Thailand, Vietnam, China, Africa, where the majority of the population could care less about the Messiah. No one is testing to see if there's any long-term effects of someone putting another person's hair in their head. Why would they? You've already made it into $1 billion business. Think about it. All the wigs that women have been wearing throughout the centuries, why do you think they were always made from synthetic hair? And please do not believe the lie that once it's no longer with the host, that it is totally dead. For if that was the truth, there would be no way to test and tell the DNA that makes it up at all. There are people, the same type of greedy men that knew sugar was more addictive than heroin and cocaine combined, and knew that it causes parasites in our body that kill us over time, and they sold it to us anyway. Now, some donors may or may not be on this end of the spectrum. That depends on many variables. But just because something doesn't kill you instantaneously does not mean that it's not killing you just the same. But that's another story altogether. Look, my sisters, it is not worth the chance that you are taking, naturally or spiritually. There is no limit to what can become of such a practice. Understand, you wearing or not wearing a weave will not affect me in any way. It will not make or break me. This is just out of concern, no more, no less. But I urge you all to please reconsider continuing to let your vanity blind you to such a practice that can lead to your death spiritually and naturally. Blessings and peace to your home.